What's going on, everybody? You already know it's your boy, Can We Keep Real Podcast, holding it down. How we doing today? A little party today, man. Party for everybody. Big rest in peace to WBLQ Zone, Chris DiPaolo. Let me know if you can hear me and everything. I'm trying something different today. Just let me know in the comment section. We can hear you. Wanted to talk about a few things, man. Big shout out. Our coaches pick them. It's really chopping up right now. This was last week, 35-15. And then we coming up to this week right here. You got West Pennington basically jumping up and taking over, leading up by a few games. He's up at 40-20. Give me a minute to get this sound turned down. But can everybody hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Leave a comment. But look, I wanted to talk about some of the playoff situations that are going on right now. We're going to break this down probably tonight. We're going to bring on a guest that's going to help us break this down. But you look at some of the games that are going on this weekend. Moses Brown and West Warwick, 2 6-0 teams right there. The winner of that game is going to be the winner of that side of the division. Right now, I think Moses Brown holds the tiebreaker because they scored a few more points than West Warwick has. Let me get to the total, actually. I have it over here somewhere. Yeah, they definitely scored a few more points. The Lincoln-Middletown game, right now, Middletown has the edge in that side of the division, followed by Charahoe and then Lincoln. But them two teams right there are both 5-1. So that's going to be a very good game. Who is going to win that? Listen, man, get down with the coaches pick 'em. Can you pick 10 games? Do you think you can go 10-0 this week? If you can, message me your picks before the games start. Go 10-0, and maybe we'll have a giveaway for you. Johnston and Pilgrim, another game. Both teams 1-5. This game has no playoff implications at all. With having a full loss in the division, I'm not sure if Pilgrim has a chance. Classical and Coventry. Coventry has to win out right now. They're both 3-3 overall. Having a game at Coventry, I think Coventry has to beat Classical. And they also have to beat Tolman to have a shot at that last spot in that division. Westerly and Woonsocket, Division II matchup. Both teams fighting for the playoffs. Woonsocket coming off a big loss against Portsmouth. Portsmouth 28-0. I did not see that coming. I thought Woonsocket was going to handle Portsmouth. I did not see Portsmouth scoring 48 points over Coach B-Ball and Woonsocket. Bishop Hendricken, Central Knights, another game, 5-2 team, 4-2 Central High School, coming off a big win against Burrillville. I mean, we all predicted a blowout like that, 42-6. Is Westerly going to be the only team coming out of this week, coming out of this season with a Division I win? Burrillville and East Providence. East Providence still has a chance. They have a very good chance to get in to the playoffs, still with 2 weeks left. A lot of games to be played. But right now, you got Portsmouth 3-1 overall. Portsmouth, 94 points scored on the season. They're actually the 6th scoring offense in Division 2B. The best scoring offense in Division 2B right now, you have to give it to Westerly Bulldogs with 174 points scored overall and allowing 113 points. And I think that puts Westerly second best defense in the Division 2B right now. You look at Woonsocket right now, they're the fourth best offense in points scored with 115 points. They have 132 points scored on, so they actually got to pick up that defense a little bit more. These are things we're going to talk about tonight. S&K right now, for S&K. SK right now. Why am I thinking of, shout out to Kenny Puckett, S&K Electric. But we have this team right now, S&K, just had a game against Shea. SK kicks off to Shea. They muff it, touch it, inverted whistle blows. They make it re-kick. Well, SK falls to Shea on that game, and no one friggin' seen that coming, not me. I did not see that coming. But SK is now 4-2, and they're the third team in this division in total points scored with 143 points scored, giving up 116 points on the season. You look at Barrington right now, 2-2. They have a game at Portsmouth, and then their final game of the season is against the Novans up there in Woonsocket. I think Westerly is going to need Woonsocket's help in that game for Westerly to have a chance to advance. Some more stuff we're going to break down tonight. But Barrington is 6th in points allowed. So Barrington giving up just as much as they scored. Barrington scoring 164 points, giving up 160 points. 6th in points allowed in the Division 2B. Shea High School right now sitting at 2-3. With 63 points scored, I think that has to be the worst in division at this point, especially on this side of the division. We'll get over to the other side of the division in just a minute. But Shea, and giving up 137 points. That's 5th in points allowed in Division 2B for Shea. The only team worse than that would be Cranston East right now, who is 0-4, scored 78, giving up 230 points, the 7th worst defense in this side of the division with 230 points given up. So you got Portsmouth giving up about 91 points on the year. Westerly's defense giving up 113. That's the second best defense in Division 2B right now. South Kingstown, 116 points given up. They're in the third spot. Fourth spot is Woonsocket at 132 defensive points given up. And then you got Shea with 137, Barrington 160, and Cranston East with 230 points given up. Now, points scored in 7th offense. You got Shea with 63 points scored. And then number 6, Portsmouth, 94. Number 5, you got Cranston East with 97. Imagine that. Cranston East is scoring more points than Portsmouth and Shea. Woonsocket, 115 points. They're number 4. Number 3, SK with 143 points. Barrington, the number 2 best offensive team by points in Division 2B with 164. And the best offensive team in the division, Westerly Bulldogs, with 174 points. Now we go over to the other side of Division 2. You got St. Ray's right now. Cranston West playing great football, coming in late at the end, playing football when it matters. But St. Ray's right now, 4-2, 3-1 in their division. St. Ray's scored 160 points this season, giving up 93 points. Cranston West right now, 3-3. Cranston West has a game versus Mount Pleasant. Who wins that game? And then they're going to be at East Greenwich for the final game of the year. So Cranston West can probably either finish what? They could finish 5-1. They could split the two games and finish 4-2. That'll still be enough to get them in the division. Or if Cranston West loses both of these games, it's going to be 3-3, and that's going to come to tiebreakers because then there's going to be a few 3-3 teams under different scenarios in this side of the division. Cumberland, back to back L's, big L's for Cumberland the last couple of weeks. 3-2 in the division where it counts. Screw overall. They have a game at NK. Don't matter. That game don't matter at all. And then you have a game versus Mount Pleasant, the last game of the year, where Mount Pleasant is sitting at 2-2 right now in the division, and they need 2 wins. So it's going to be tough to play Mount Pleasant. You know, Cumberland is scoring 159 points on offense for the season, and they also allowed 93 points. So the best Cumberland can finish right now is 4-2. That's the best Cumberland can finish. This is in their league play, in their division. The worst Cumberland can finish right now in the league is probably 3-3, and like I said, that's gonna put it at a lot of 3-3 teams. You know, you can well, they're 3-2, yeah. So either 4-2 and 3-3 is where Cumberland ends up finishing this season. Now you look at Mount Pleasant; they have 2 division games left. You got at Cranston West. Look, Cranston West playing good football right now. That game is going to be a toss-up. So, and then you have a game at Cumberland. So Mount Pleasant has a tough couple of games. You're going to be playing a Cumberland team that, I mean, they're playing NK this week, so are they going to be coming off 3 losses in a row? You know, so you really don't know what Cumberland is going to, what Cumberland team you are going to get, and what Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant plays tough football. Mount Pleasant plays football. And the sound might have just changed because, let me see if I can get another headphone in. Well, anyway, you should still be able to hear me. But yeah, East Providence, you know. So, the best Mount Pleasant can finish. Let me not get ahead of myself. The best Mount Pleasant can finish right now in the league is, let's see, 4-2. 4-2 would be enough to get Mount Pleasant into the playoffs where they would be dangerous. Jalen King. You look at Mount Pleasant's quarterback. A lot of people didn't know where he came from. Well, the school he was going to, first off, shout out to Behind the Pads. Shout out to my guy, Nadeem Robinson. You know, but Jalen King is a former Behind the Pads nephew. You know, and shout out to Mount Hope Cowboys. Got it done yesterday. Pretty much faced one of the best teams in the region. Screwed at the best team in the region. So shout out to my guy over there, Nadeem. You know, everything he has going on. Where was I? Oh, Jalen King. You know, a lot of people wondered where he came from. You know, the school he went to, charter school out in Providence. He would have had to play at Hope High School, and we all know the quality of football Hope High School has been playing the last couple of weeks. It's been ass, and it's not the coach's fault. It's not the players' fault. It's the athletic director's fault. It's the principal's fault. It's the city of Providence's fault for allowing Hope High School to be a mess for so long. For allowing to in Mount Pleasant's district, he goes to Mount Pleasant and he's putting up some great numbers right now in the 5 games that Mount Pleasant has on the docket, they put up 112 points and they allowed 67 points on the season. So basically that's where Jalen King came from. He didn't just come out of thin air. He's been around, but he's been playing basketball because he didn't want to play for Hope. Now Coach Addison has him, and Mount Pleasant's playing good football right now. So Mount Pleasant's options are what? They can go 4-2. They could finish the season going 3-3, or they can go 2-4. The 2-4 is not going to get them in. And like I said, the 3-3 option is going to be a lot of teams that are 3-3. You watch, it's going to come down to tiebreakers. So they say, oh, they ran up the scores. Run up them scores because that could be because the break is going to be total points. And if you look at this division right here, in this division two, you got St. Ray's with 160, right? The next best team, Cumberland, 159, and they're tied with East Providence at 159 as well. So you got St. Ray's, Cumberland, and East Providence all with about 160 yards average, let's say, right? And then you have Mount Pleasant, 112. And then Burrillville is a big drop off to 90, but we're looking at the top 4 teams. St. Ray's, West, Cumberland, Mount Pleasant are the 4 teams that would make the playoffs if the playoffs happen today. And now we got East Providence. East Providence 3-3 overall. A lot of kids on that team came out emotionally high. They had injuries, they had discipline problems, whether it was administrative school problems, but you know how that goes. Every test. How about now? Can you hear me now? There we go. We should be good now. Let me know if you can hear me now. There we go. You should be able to hear me now. Let me know in the comment section if you can hear me now. I'm doing this from my phone. I'm just trying something a little different. Can you hear me now? Yeah, definitely let me know if y'all can hear me now, and we'll get on with this. Basically just wanted to test it out. But East Providence right now, overall, a 3-3, right? They allowed 159 points on the season, giving up 135 points, right? Their options right now, they got a game versus EG and a game versus Burrillville. Very easily, these teams can win. All right, we're gonna come back. We're gonna check this out. Give me a minute, and we'll continue to East Green conversation.
Get ready, it's coming. You hunting or you running? Get ready.